everyone, my name is Sean and welcome to French class. Today we'll be taking the sounds. We'll be covering vowel sounds, diphthongs, nasal sounds and consonant sounds. Now, of course, our sounds are very important because they will help us in pronouncing the words properly in French. So come along with me, I'll have some things written on the board. So now we have some things written on the board, so let's begin with our vowel sound. Now, when you see an A in a word, it is often pronounced as A. So this will be that. When you see an E, now E, it will vary depending on the accent that is on it. For example, if you have an accent that slides to the right, like in après, then it will be an air sound. Derrière, air. If you see an accent slanting to the right, then it will be pe, se. This sound is also seen when words end in er, and these are verbs. For example, this aller, which means to go, this per se, which means to weigh. When you see er ending a word, it is usually pronounced as a. Then when you see words that begin with re, usually it is pronounced as re. So this would be regarder, retrouver, that is to discover. Then also some words also have that same sound, that is devant. Then you have I, which is E, so it is idéal. The O sounds, whenever you see the accents, this triangular looking accent on top of an O, it is pronounced as O. Otherwise, you pronounce the O sound as O. For example, a call, which means school, pomme, apple, O. Then when you see a U in a word, now you have to differentiate between U and U. This U is a narrow type of sound which kind of comes from your throat, so it is rue. As you see, whenever you say singular U, it is rue. When you see OU, then you open your mouth a bit more. It is poulet, root. It's important to differentiate between the two so that you pronounce it effectively. Then when you see this EAU, this EAU is pronounced as O. EAU, whenever you see ending a word, for example, water, bird, O, was so. Then the letter H is considered a vowel in French. So this is hôpital. Remember the triangular type accents. Whenever I see it on an O, is O. Then haricot. Now, we tend to not pronounce the last words in French, especially when you see words ending in T. You will not pronounce it. For example, haricot, lait. We don't pronounce the T. So now let's cover our diphthongs. When you see an AI, it's usually pronounced as E. For example, lait, which is milk, français. Then when you see an OI, it's pronounced usually as wa, like in poisson, fish, or trois. Remember when we mentioned trois in our numbers? Otherwise, when you see your EI and your UI, you pronounce them as is. For example, UI, wheat, it. So now let's move on to our nasal sounds. Nasal sounds, like they come from your nose. When you see AN, EN, ON, UN, now they're usually pronounced the same way. Banque, centre, bonjour, brun. Now this is brown, this means good day, this means center, and this means bank. However, when you see IN is pronounced instead of on. This is on, un. So this is 50, 50. So let's make a contrast. Centre, 50. Now our consonants. Consonants, they are usually as you see them that you pronounce them. So B, bateau. D, dire. F, téléphone, fish. Now, sorry, bateau means boat. Dire means to say Telephone, your telephone. Fish is file. So when you say PH is f, and when you also see F is fish. Now this G, your G sound is garage. Garder. This is garage. This is to keep. G. This J sound is sometimes represented in G words. For example, in your garage, this is also garage. When you see J, is jardin. Also, the word joy, joie. So it's just a sliding sound. Then K, kilomètre, macaroni. Now, C words are usually pronounced K, except when you see them with an accent underneath, that curve underneath. So this is macaroni. You can also camarade, which means friend. Then L, salut. M, milieu. N, natation. Salut, that's hi. M, middle. N, natation, which means swimming. Then your P, that's parent. Remember our nasal sounds. So this is parent, and we don't pronounce the T because it's ending the word. Then Q, that's K. Question, Quebec. Then R, as in le. Remember our E sound. Whenever I see E, it is E. Then S, that is as in, as we see whenever you see C with accent underneath, that's S. So français, sing, dessiner. Whenever you see S in two places, that's two S's between vowels, you pronounce it as S, like dessiner, which means to draw. But whenever you see the S between, just one S between two vowels, it is a Z sound, but we'll get to that later. So this, that's two, which means all, but the T is silent because it ends the word, remember. Then V, vacances, which is vacation, holiday. W, that's weekend. X, dix, 10. Now, whenever you see GN, this is the E sound. So this will be montagne. Yeah. Then whenever you also see words that end in ILLE, like in thousand, it is also a E sound. So it's montagne, ya, me. Then finally Z, which is zebra, réservé. So when you see just one S between two vowels, it is a Z sound. But whenever you see two S's, it is S. Now let's have a recap. From our vowels, you see an A, we pronounce it as A, that. You see E, depending on the accent, if the accent is slanting to the right, it is E, après, derrière. Now when you see the accent going up, it is A, so this is PC. And also whenever you see a word ending with ER, the ER you pronounce it as A, and this is usually in verbs, like this means to go, this means to weigh. Then whenever you see a word that starts with RE as well, it is an sound. So it's regarder, retrouver. Then sometimes you also see it's represented in random words, it is devant. It's important to have your dictionary with you. Just open it up and look at this transcription. Then I, we pronounce it E, ideal. Remember our E with the accent? A, ideal. Then O, usually when you see an O with the accent, côté. Otherwise, it is a call, pomme. U differentiates it. Rue, route, poulet. Also, when you see words ending with ET, it is like this. This is the pronunciation. Poulet, ET, which means and, A. Then E, whenever you see words ending, whenever you see EAU in a word, it is E. H, hôpital, haricot, our diphthongs, lait. Oie, poisson. 3. Nasal sounds, pronounce them through your nose. When you see an, en, on, un, that's on. But when you see in, is un. So, centre, 50. It's important to differentiate between the two. Consonants are pronounced as you see them: bateau, deal, téléphone, fiche, garage, garder, jardin, garage, joie. Kilomètre, macaroni, camarade, elle salue, milieu, natation, parent, question, Québec, rouleau. Français, signe, désigner, dessiner, tout, vacances, week-end, dix, montagne, ya, mille, zebra, and réservé. Now, keep practicing. Whenever you see a word, check your dictionary and look at how it is transcribed to be sure they are pronouncing it right. But of course, as you keep learning more words, you become more accustomed to the pronunciation. Most important, practice makes perfect. Thank you so much for joining me on this French class, and bye-bye.